and hit the spot.
So topical back with another video. I'm Strange Wang. He is Nate. Today, concluding our director's bracket, we gonna find out which Alfred Hitchcock movie is the best. We've done Spielberg, Scorsese, Nolan, anyone you can think of. Just about. Probably not, because there's a fuck ton of directors. We did the big ones, and we're gonna end it off on old Hitchcock. He'll tell you the rules, how we settle beefs with the brackets.
Two movies pop up on the screen. We debate on which one's better. If we agree, that one moves on. If we disagree, we play rock, paper, scissors to figure it out. And the only other rule that is if one person has seen both of the movies, but one person has only seen one or zero of the movies, and the person who's seen both of them gets to decide on their own. First up, we have Vertigo and Rebecca.
So we got one of the greatest films of all time, top 10 usually in Vertigo.
Yeah.
All time, not just Hitchcock, versus a top 10 Hitchcock film in Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's Vertigo. Which, I mean, you're going to hear me say that a lot. Probably both of us.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did you make this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Short and sweet.
Did you put them on opposite sides of the bracket?
Yeah. I didn't want.
Okay.
Well, I didn't want two James Stewart's on one side, even though it is on Rope.
I mean, yeah.
And then you got Cary Grant. I didn't want them overlapping too much.
That's fair. So next up we have Rope versus North by Northwest.
Rope feels more like a Hitchcock movie.
Yeah.
It's more of a stage play where let's kill a man and throw a dinner party and have the dead man in the middle of the room without him stinking, because obviously it's a movie. You gotta have some stench of disbelief.
Right.
And then you have one of the greatest spy thrillers of all time, in North by Northwest.
Another movie that pops up really high on a lot of best movies of all time.
Yeah.
So,
just multiple iconic scenes in North by Northwest. Cary Grant, one of my favorite roles that he's in, because you still get that comedic side of Cary Grant with the serious snarkiness of him, like, why am I in this situation? Leave me the fuck alone, which Cary Grant does perfectly.
Yeah, that's true. Cary Grant ends up in a lot of movies where he just, like, by circumstance or force, ends up in situations he doesn't want to be in.
He's a very snarky guy.
Yeah.
As much as I love Rope and think Rope is an underrated Hitchcock film,
sure,
the answer is easy. It's North by Northwest for me.
Yeah, I appreciate, like, Rope does feel more like a Hitchcock movie for sure, but I think North by Northwest is really important in his filmography because it shows that, like, that's this, like, super, like, suspense psychological thriller isn't the only thing he can do. He can take those elements and put it in a different genre and still do it really well. So I agree.
And he does.
Okay, Vertigo versus North by Northwest.
Vertigo, man. James Stewart's my favorite actor. Vertigo again. Both of these movies are usually in the top 50 greatest movies of all time. The difference is Vertigo is usually in the top 5, top 10.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's number 1 depending on the list. It has been the greatest movie of all time.
Right. And once we get down to, like, to me, it's like, I'm almost making the opposite argument that I just made of Rope, but it's like, Vertigo is, like, one of his best movies, if not his best movie. And so when you get down to, like, and North by Northwest is also one of his best movies. But so when you get down to talking about his best movies, then I feel a lot more comfortable leaning to the one that's, like, more typical Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Like the suspense and all that stuff.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so now next up on the other side we have Rear Window versus The Boyds.
I finally watched The Birds.
Yeah.
Doesn't hold up perfectly.
No,
it was so weird.
Yeah, it is really tough to watch it in a modern age and get over, like, the effects they had to use for the birds. It's not the movie's fault. It just is what it is.
The beginning shots of the birds attacking, great.
Yeah.
But then you get into the phone booth, or, like, so, like, when they're having the birthday party, the birds don't look that bad.
Right.
And then you get to the phone booth and
there's just, like, extras off screen just chunking, like, rubber birds at a phone booth.
And then, like, you have, like, them running out to school. Like, those birds are terrible.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good movie, great storyline, just doesn't hold up anymore. Like, you have to watch it with that in mind to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it is still a watchable movie. Not the same cast Hitchcock always goes with,
right.
which I enjoy that. As much as I love James Stewart and Cary Grant, I like to see him work with other talent, and he did a great job with them. But Rear Windows goated, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's really good. Fun fact about the birds that I learned probably like a year ago, and I don't really know why I remember it, but Tippi Hedren was like a lot more known for like playing the like ditzy comedic girl in a lot of stuff. And so I just really appreciate like how Hollywood doesn't change, in that like anytime we see an actor get cast in a role now that's outside of their normal wheelhouse, where it's either like, oh my gosh, that's going to be so good, or it's like, that's so stupid, like they're not going to be good at that, like you can't do it. And people literally had the same reaction when she got, like, when they heard that she was going to be the new Alfred Hitchcock movie.
So the list has been out for a while, and no one's probably going to go back and watch it, but my number one most anticipated movie of the year is because of that. I'm curious to see what this non-dramatic actor can do with The Rock and Smash Machine.
Oh, yeah.
The Safdie, one of the Safdie brothers movies.
Yeah.
The Rock and A24 movie, like,
yeah.
I gotta watch that, but that does have Hitchcock in it.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to do plenty of talking about Rear Window later, and the answer for this one is definitely Rear Window.
Yes, sir.
Notorious versus Psycho.
For me, it's Psycho. I think how Pulp Fiction... I don't think Pulp Fiction is Tarantino's best movie, but I think it's by far the one he's most well known for.
Yeah.
And if you go out and ask anyone in the public, they're going to be like, oh, Pulp Fiction. The guy who made Pulp Fiction. Same thing with Hitchcock, the guy who made Psycho. I think that holds a lot of weight when it comes to their best movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it deserves to move on over Notorious.
Well, I've never seen Notorious, so...
Oh, well.
It's going anyways. And then Psycho versus Rear Window.
Rear Window.
Yeah.
Greatest opening scene of all time, in my opinion. Absolutely love it.
Pretty dang good.
The romantic aspect is a great storyline all by itself. I'm sure there's movies out there of men forcing away really attractive women because they want to keep the lifestyle they have, and especially around like that 60s, 70s time period.
Which, oh, go ahead.
A lot of westerns probably that come to mind when I think of that scenario. Yeah. And then you have the murder aspect.
Right.
Which is incredibly well done. And the relatability. Like, everyone's been bored. I can fit into his shoes or in his cast in this situation and have that relatability. But, yeah, it's great.
Agreed. And then, deservedly, in the final, it's Vertigo versus Rear Window.
And James Stewart on James Stewart crime. You haven't talked about Rear Window yet, so let's hear your input.
Well, I was also going to say, it's actually kind of like the point you were making about, like, these men pushing away beautiful women, all that stuff is, like, although through his investigation, he ends up, like, falling for the woman, he is also doing this very much so with, like, the chick that's his friend and is always in his apartment in Vertigo. And so they have that in common. These movies have, like, a fair amount in common.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they really do. I think Rear Window is really good. I don't think Rear Window is really good. I think Rear Window is an incredible movie. Like, and I think, now that I'm looking at these two, I don't know how to explain it. And so it's like, on one hand, him like basically being stuck in his apartment is like adds so much to the suspense of this movie and the thrill of the movie, because he has to watch all this stuff and there's not really a shit ton that he can do about it, right? And I wouldn't say that that's a turnoff for me, but I think it is a big reason that I like Vertigo more, because like I get to actually watch him go around and do stuff, you know? But that also lends to Rear Window again, because to make a movie where you're basically making your hero this stationary thing and he can't really do too much, and to make it as incredible as Rear Window is like phenomenal. And that takes a really, really good script and a really, really good actor and a really, really good director all being on the same page. But yeah, to me, these are both just like in terms of suspense and thrill and like all that stuff, they're on the same level. I would argue that Rear Window is probably maybe even a little bit more suspenseful and or thrilling throughout like its entirety. Yeah. Vertigo has its moments. But you know, it's like he's in it. Like, I mean, he's a cop that got taken off the force because this really, like, he got hurt chasing a bad guy, and like, or someone else got hurt chasing a bad guy.
The cop died.
Yeah,
he jumped.
Right when they jumped. Yeah, okay. It wasn't him that
tried
fell.
To save him.
Yeah,
and fell over.
Right, which is why he has vertigo. Duh. So they're just different in their own ways, but they're both like at least 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10 movies. So, anyways, all that to say, if it wasn't obvious, I'm picking Vertigo.
See, for me, the counterpoint, the he can't do nothing. To me, that frustration as a viewer, that gives me his frustration. It makes me sympathize with him a little bit more. That's how I personally feel when watching that.
Yeah.
And that adds investment. Vertigo, the thing about Vertigo that kills it for me, phenomenal film, of course, but how does he not tell these two women apart? Like, is he so delusional?
Yes.
To me, that's so unrealistic.
Why?
I don't know. I can't get over that. Like,
yeah, I mean, this guy clearly has psychological problems and has from the beginning.
Yeah, but to me, it's just, I don't know. I can't get over that. It's like, come on, stupid, realize who it is.
Yeah, I mean, there are like, yeah. I don't think that he has a problem telling them, I don't think it's a problem that he seems to can't not be able to tell them apart because
he doesn't want to tell them apart.
He doesn't want to tell them apart. Yeah.
As a viewer, I'm frustrated with it. My picks for a window. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Hooray!
No.
I really just I'm not going to do it because that would take way too much time, but I would really love to know what our overall rock, paper, scissors record is.
You can do that. I'm not.
Yeah.
But I think we both, I'm from Canada now. I'm from Canada now. I think we both knew.
Tell me about it.
Where this bracket was going.
Yeah, at least the final two. I mean,
and it was you don't know where it's going to go, but Vertigo is Cinetopical's pick for Alfred Hitchcock's best film of all time. Let us know in the comment section what you think Alfred Hitchcock's best film of all time is. Score like the like button, share the video, and subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich